Hello, I'm Kristina Amelong and of Optimal Health Network, and I'm going to talk about how to clean your enema equipment. I'm going to go through the process as if I've just finished my enema and I've just taken out the nozzle that is now covered in super salve and maybe has some stool on it. So I'm going to want to have a spot that I can set this down so I can go sit on the toilet and not have anxiety about where that is. If there's a little stool on it, it's not, don't worry about it. Just either set it on a paper towel on the counter or on the floor next to your towel. Even set it on your towel. If you have to leave it in your bath water, that's just going to be fine. So, think of it like fecal transplants. Stool is not as dangerous as we think, as we've been taught. So, once that's taken care of, sit on the toilet and empty out, and then when you come back to your equipment, if you're going to do the second enema in the series, just swish it in some water and eye it up. And if you have a bottle brush, which we offer at Optimal Health Network, you can stick that in both sides. You can even take it off here and clean that like that. And then you're ready for your next enema in the series. You don't need to clean the bags or the bucket between each step. So at the end, when you're ready to clean the equipment completely and then store it, what you're going to want to do is take off your hook and start with your nozzle in terms of the process of deep cleaning. Take it off the tubing and again swish it around, use the bottle brush, and you have a sink full of hot soapy water. And I recommend non-toxic soap like our pure coconut oil soap to make that solution of hot soapy water. And then once you're done with that, leave it in there and then do that same process of making some hot soapy water through your shower or your faucet by clamping your tubing and putting the water into the bag and then pouring a bit of soap so that as the water goes into the bag through the shower or the faucet, it's becoming soapy, bubbly. And then move that around. And then once that's happened a bit, you just open the clamp and run all that hot soapy water through the tubing, out the sink or into the toilet or the tub. And then what I would do next in order to disinfect the bag is I would do that same process that I've just done, empty out everything with some hot water mixed with grapefruit seed extract. So if it's in the sink, 10 drops, you can do it with less water and use less, but about that, maybe like a quart of water or less, right? Because it's not that much. So then you can use less drops, 2-3 drops per cup. And then do that same process with the bag. And I would use 10 drops of the grapefruit seed extract. Put the hot water in there, have it clamped, and swish that around. If you want to hang it up and leave it in there for a little while, that's fine too. And then empty it out. And then the final step of making sure that your enema equipment is clean is to make sure it's dry. And this is so core because if your enema equipment doesn't dry out between uses, you'll develop mold in it. And mold is not what you want in your enema equipment because getting it into the body is going to be harmful. So you want to always be eyeing up, which is part of why we chose silicone, because it is easy to see through the materials and keep track of if there's any mold in there. So it's fine if hairs are collected, dust is collected over time, but mold, no. So what you want to do is dry it out with a towel and also maybe hang it up after that. Okay, but if you live in a real humid environment, it's still not going to get dry. So when you go ahead to store it, you want to take a paper towel and you want to scrunch it up loosely and just stick it in there so that when we store it, however, it has some wicking capacity to collect the humidity, and it has less opportunity to mold. You will need to be replacing the tubing depending on the humidity in your environment and how much you use it, and so we offer just tubing lengths on optimalhealthnetwork.com. And the bag, once you get it from us, it does have a lifetime warranty, but take good care of it, okay? So I think that, okay, so now what we're going to do is just think about the bucket, and really in every way it's the same way. You just go through that process, but I guess don't use any kind of abrasive materials like scrubbies on the back of sponges, but it's fine to use sponges. It's fine to use your hand, motion just like I'm talking about. And this isn't going to mold and is quite easy to dry, but for the tubing it's still great to put a paper towel inside here when you store it away to help wick the moisture from the tubing as it's stored. In terms of cleaning our colon tubes, you can take the tips off quite easily so that you can use the bottle brush to clean in that area on both sides. Okay, so these are super handy, and these just fit right back together for storage. So then I guess finally cleaning the hook. Just it doesn't really need to be cleaned, but you certainly can do any of those same processes. And I think there's, okay, so it's easy to cut. Did I miss anything? Oh, do not use the dishwasher. Do not use harsh chemicals. Do not use bleach. You can also Google on the internet if you want to do your own research how to clean silicone. There's lots of different opinions. And in terms of staining with the coffee, coffee does stain, so over time it will discolor the equipment, but it's not a problem. And because you can look in there, it's easy to tell what mold looks like. It's more black and splotchy. It's not uniform. So thank you very much, and have a blessed day.